July 16th, 2023. I peed my pants at 6:07 p.m. I had a surgery scheduled in 2 days, so I called my doctor. I had a minor condition known as late-stage pregnancy, and I was just calling my doctor to let them know that I was pretty sure that I was not in labor. They said, kind of sounds like you are. You should probably come in. C-section surgery was the absolute last thing I wanted that day, or ever. I had big plans for my birth experience. I was gonna have a crunchy, natural birth in a birthing center. And the baby would be born in this quiet, calm environment, and the sheer joy that he would bring to me and his dad would be exactly what we needed to kickstart our love story and become this very non-traditional, yet still a little bit traditional family. But nature had other ideas, and the baby's ass was permanently lodged into my pelvis, which requires surgery. Oh, and his dad had dumped me 5 months previously because parenthood, especially with me, wasn't quite what he had signed up for. But he still came to the hospital, so my hope is alive. We can still have this quiet moment of joy and resume our love story and overcome the teeny tiny hurdle of an unwanted pregnancy. So there I am, lying naked on the table with nothing but an ace bandage covering my boobs, when I look over at my ex, who's looking over at the doctors as they hold my two completely paralyzed, very unshaven legs in the air, and they are inserting a catheter. To distract him from this horror show, I said, "Hey, did you tell your mom that the baby was coming today?" He said, "No." I said, "Oh, did you tell anyone?" He said, "Yeah, I told my girlfriend." My gaze went to the ceiling, completely catatonic. This was not what I had planned. I was not ready for this. And it could have been the huge dose of morphine that they had just given me, or my sheer devastation in that moment, but something swallowed me. And I don't actually have a memory of my baby being born, only the pattern of the ceiling tiles in OR1. The devil may be a thief and a liar, but the devil's got nothing on postpartum depression, okay? I thought I knew what depression felt like. I had no idea. This was totally different. I wanted to eat, but I couldn't. I wanted to sleep, but I couldn't. I thought I would die, but I didn't. And the worst part about it was I was unable to bond with the baby. No matter how hard I tried, this angry, guilty, inadequate cloud of depression just loomed over every sweet moment. The baby would make a cute face, and I'd immediately think of my ex's face and how I had ruined both of our lives. I absolutely hated motherhood, but you're not allowed to hate motherhood, so I had to hide it. I asked for no help from anyone, although I desperately needed it. And this daunting thought that lived rent-free in my brain every night was that I had brought an innocent child into the world who would one day grow up and wonder exactly what it was that he had done wrong. Ironically, I thought that having a baby was going to solve all my problems. So 5 months later, it's now New Year's Eve, and I'm still pissed. I haven't heard from my ex in months, and I'm home alone like I would be for what's looking like the rest of my life. But some friends took pity on me, and they invited me over, and I was excited. We were going to have this little party. So I put the baby to bed upstairs at their house, and I came down to have a really nice night. We were going to drink wine and tell some stories that had absolutely nothing to do with that baby. But the baby had other ideas, and he was up there crying. And I just said, I've sleep trained him. He'll go to sleep eventually. Don't worry about it. But 2 minutes of crying turned into 10 minutes of crying, and I felt the social pressure to go up and check on him. And when I did, he was covered in vomit. Awesome! I give him a quick rinse in my very childless friend's bathtub, and we head home. And on that 2-mile drive home, he continues to be sick in the back seat, and my panic begins to set in because I'm afraid that he's going to choke on his own vomit in the car seat. So I drove home with the door open so that the cab lights would stay on and I could watch him breathing in the mirror. And by the time we got home, there was absolutely no color or substance left inside of his body. He was having his first health crisis, and I was his only parent. Having never dealt with this situation before, I just stripped us both of our vomit-soaked clothes and held him close. And wouldn't you know it, he falls asleep, slowly pinking up before my very eyes. And finally, after 5 long months, I'm completely naked, covered in bodily fluids. Through my tears, I had that moment that I so longed for at his birth. I bonded my baby. It was a dream. The clouds opened up, doves descended down. I would break any law because there was absolutely nothing more beautiful or precious in the world. And he might not have the dad that he deserved, but I was going to be damned if he didn't have the mom that he deserved. So I decided to fight for my life, to fight for my mental health, and to fight for my son. I knew I could let go of all of my failures in love and embrace my son, not for what could have been, but for what actually is my truest love story. Thank you.